All right, great. Thanks for chiming in and coming in. We're going to go into what Cole Realty can do. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so we're here. I hate that. Okay, here we go. All right. So I'm going to go over some of the slides that I created so that it gives you a step-by-step uh, in, directions on how to get on there. So Cole Realty basically is a lead generation tool. It is for you to farm and get information so you can prospect, and you can use this kind of information in different ways. There's so much criteria that you can filter with. And honestly, I don't really use the whole filtering system. But if you really wanted to do more targeting, we can I can show you how you can filter your list. Okay. And you could use it for direct mail. And I realized that I think Cole Realty was either in partnership with Express Docs or Express Docs bought it or Cole Realty bought Express Docs. But I see Express Doc is connected to it, and Express Docs is a direct mailing company where they can send out postcards. You can create it, and they're directly linked. So, and it's very easy to send that through to Express Docs if you wanted to. Okay, so you're going to use some of this stuff for, geographic farming. Like if you have, a certain area that you specialize in. And if you are a new agent or you're kind of getting into, okay, I'm going to start doing some marketing and this is where I want to focus on, this is a perfect way to do that. There's contact information, there's landlines, there's cell phone, there's email addresses. So it's great for prospecting either a certain area or if you have like new listings. I remember I used to use it for if I was doing someone else's open house or my open house, I kind of create like a radius and I started calling and just inviting people because it was very hard for me to do cold calls. But it wasn't soliciting. I was just inviting them. And I was saying, hey, I'm doing a public open house. You are welcome to come by. And therefore, when they do come, I can capture their information. And it wasn't a direct, cold call, meaning like, hey, do you want to sell your home? I just was doing that to invite people to my open house. There's, again, targeted list, and we'll go over that. And if you have a just listed, just sold, there is there is data where some that they've shown that if they see a just listed sign in that area, that more likely that someone else is going to also sell their home in that area. So it's a really good way if you see like you passing by, you saw a just listed sign, go back into Cold Realty and kind of prospect around that area because there was some data shown that if there was like a sale sign or just listed home, that other people were kind of open to selling too, or that it crosses their minds, so you have more properties that are willing to be listed. All right, so where do you find it? So this is the website. You go to goremaxselect.com, and if you are just on goremaxselect.com, you just go over the offices and you go choose NJ Hub, New Jersey, okay? And like Idona said, there is a password. It's So I would keep that in your notes somewhere. And it is true. We do have a lot of stuff on there. Like if you'll see, even with Cold Realty, it already has like the username and password on there. So when I go, you have to scroll all the way down when you're in the hub, New Jersey hub, and you'll go down and you'll see, Idona has mentioned many times, this is where our masterminds are, our recordings, NTN rentals. We don't do them anymore. We do rent spree. So there's recordings on that. There's marketing library. There's logos that you can go into. But the most important thing that I'm going to highlight, of course, is the agent tools today. So when you're in agent tools, you go into Cole Realty. There's Vulcan 7, Dot Loop. I'm sure we have our separate, thing, but really, we're going to go into the Cole Realty. And again, it says that's your password and that's your username. Okay, so we all share it. So there are times where you may not have access to it. So if that's the case, I would just wait. So I wouldn't do something like at the last minute, like, oh my God, I have to do this right now because someone else, there might be multiple people on it, and you may not have access at that time. So I would just wait, and go on it on a different time. But that's our password. Okay, so when you're here, it does tell you to log in and it gave you the username and password and it takes you down to this page. This is the main page and you'll see that really the only thing that they need is the street name and the state. But I always put, the city as well, but it's not a required field. But if you don't put it, then you'll get other towns with the same street name. So my recommendation is that you do put it. And you see right at the bottom, you'll see that red star that I put in. I always click on the one that says confirmed homeowner. Okay, because it may limit the list, but at least it's confirmed that they are the homeowner. Okay. You could choose different kind of list. You can do all records where they have, the address, the email, the phone numbers, and all of that information. So you can click on that. But if you are, let's say, just doing an email blast or, just something that you don't want to do the calling, then choose emailing. Okay. And if you're going to just be set on, let's say, I'm just going to make calls and you don't want all of the other information, do the phone numbers. Okay. And of course, if you are just doing the mailings, like let's say you did get a new listing and you want to just do a just listed card, then do the mailing and it just has the home address. And I'll show you how you can print out like either the labels or the list. So this is where it gets a little bit confusing. After you put, the information, this is not your list. I know that it comes like it's a list, but you just have to choose a primary record. So don't feel like, wait, this is not everything, or I don't see everything, or so just pick one. So if I pick, let's say, something in like Hickory Lane, then I'm just picking either, if you're not seeing that one specific address, don't freak out, is what I'm saying. You just choose one, okay? And after you choose one, you go down and there's three ways to search it. Okay. So I'm going to go through each one and how each one looks. Okay. So let's say I'm just doing the street search. Let's say you know this area. I know which streets to hit, where I'm going to mark it. And that's the list I'm going to do. So if I just do that, then you'll see that I chose all records and then there's street search. So you can see it's all Hickory Lane. Okay. And if you wanted to do another, then you can download this and let's say, okay, I want to do another like street. Then you can go back and do another street. Okay. But that's what it looks like. Now, if you choose the radius search, okay, that like if we go back, this is the second one. It's the radius search. And you can do like 1 mile or two. If I do like 0.5 miles, then you'll get like a hefty list depending on, how many homes are listed there. You'll see, but you'll see that there's different streets because what they're doing is they're doing like a radius search. Okay, so let's say you have that just listed home or a target home that address that you have, and they do a radius, that's the list you're getting. Okay. And I just chose the email one. So it may have some information, but you'll see that all the emails are filtered. Now, you have to keep in mind if they don't have that email and they don't sometimes have all the information, like you'll see like certain things like the phone numbers are missing, but it's included in this list because I only chose email. So they're only choosing the properties with the email. Okay, so you might be missing some addresses, but just know that it's because I chose the email section. If I chose all records, there will be everybody on there. So keep that in mind. And there's also the map search free form method. Okay, so what it's going to do when you choose that, it's going to open up a map, and you can just you can just click on one point, and you can free form it. Like you can create an area. Like sometimes you don't know, let's say. we have things like homes that are in the East Hill, but doesn't say in the map that it's East Hill. But so you want to target a certain area, then that's where I'm going. I'm putting these like pointers where I'm going to choose a specific area. And then that's how you're going to get the prospects, and you choose the prospects. But that's something like you can do that when you're seeing that, hey, not everything is popping up, and I just really want to focus on this area. Again, talking about hyper local, like you want to really be specific in certain sections, then that's the search form that you're using. Okay, and then this is what it looks like. And I chose phone numbers. Okay, so I did a map search. So you'll see that there's different types, of streets and addresses, but they're included on this list because whether it's a landline or cell phone, a phone number is included. Now, let's say if there's an owner that never had their home registered and they don't have their phone numbers there, you might be missing that person. Okay, so just FYI. And you'll see there are people with emails on there, but because I only chose the section where, I wanted the phone numbers, they're still included. Okay. So just going back, I just want to make sure like you understand this is what I was doing. Like I was doing, all records or email only or phone number only or, so that I wanted to show you what that looked like. Okay, so once you do, okay, then search and then they come up with the list. You can't see everything right here, but let's say there's like a bunch of lists here. Then this is what you do. You choose either you want all of the pages, you want the current pages, or you want multiple, like, let's say you want page two and then three and four. Okay, so you could choose the different types of how many people or how many pages you want. And here's the download section is where you're going to download it. So you can do an Excel sheet, but most of the time, if we are, putting in CRM, and again, I wouldn't just randomly put people because remember, with our CRM, it's not really to do email blasts, it's really to cultivate your clients and your contacts. But the best I believe format that you really should be using is the CSV file. But again, you can choose whatever format you want to do, and you'll see that there's a label section. Okay, so if you're saying, oh, I have like 50, postcards I'm gonna mail out myself, then you can just do the labels. Or let's say it's not even postcards. Let's say you want to send out just a customized email that, and then you want to put it in an envelope or a note card or whatever, then you could use the label like the Avery label format, and that's the format that gets downloaded. And I include this because sometimes most of us we don't have a separate Excel application because it's expensive. So what we use is Google Sheets, right? Because it's free with our email. So a lot of times when you download it, it automatically downloads to your download, and then when you open it, it changes into pages or something else, and then it sometimes the file you can't see it. So if you haven't bought Google like sheet, I mean, I'm sorry, Excel, then my recommendation is you open Google Sheets and I just do a new one and I just do import. And when I import, I go and upload. Let's see if I included that. Okay, I didn't include that. Okay, so import it and then it tells you, upload, and I go back and grab the list that I downloaded. I don't open it because sometimes that corrupts it or changes it. I just download it and then I go into Google Sheets and I'll show you what it looks like because I did that, okay? And then you just say, "Hey, do you want to import and replace all the information?" You say yes. And then you can open it and now it's in your Gmail. Now I would name it like let's say cluster home like farming, or just listed for 1 to 3 Main Street. And that's how I know that this is the list for that specific thing that I wanted to do, whether it be prospecting or just listed or anything like that. So this is really where the magic happens. So I did like a little magic hat, and you'll see like at the corner, you'll see the advanced option. Okay, so the advanced option is kind of like where a lot of the information does populate. So if you click on it, you'll see the advanced option. So the thing here, it does have the basic information, the last name, first name, house number, address, all of that. And then if you go on this list, it's an incredible amount of data that they have and filtering system. So that's why it's important. So I think that if you are a marketing wizard, you would use some of this stuff. Like you'll see, and I'll show you some of the criterias and how you would filter. Let's say I would definitely do the length of residency because, and I did that, and you'll see that if that person just moved in there 2 years ago, they're probably not going to sell. Okay, so I'm looking at length of residency from, let's say, even 5 years, okay, or 10 years. And like if it's 20 years, then you might want to have like a marketing targeting, like let's say, is it time to downsize? Like you got to think about like what kind of marketing you want to do. There's like I'll show you. These are some of the marketing things that, these are the filtering categories like length of residency. I would do like maybe income, work, mortgage amount, type of collector. It's again, like if there's doll doll collecting, stamp collecting, but the reason why they have that is because maybe the postcard or whatever you're going to send has like, stamps on it somehow, and it kind of like registers to someone who's a collector, and that's why they collect that, and the way they collect it is they actually monitor certain type of activity, as scary that it is, that it happens all the time, and they'll see these consumers are, what kind of websites they're going into, like what's their activity, and they kind of collect those data. As scary as it is, we don't like it, but everyone's using it, right? And so there's gender, there's age, there's marital, and there's the types of cards like Platinum American Express, a type of business like Discover card, and there's golf, quilting, fishing. So again, if you are going to do, let's say, a marketing like Facebook ad or Instagram ad, your visuals may be like a golf, and you'll say something like funny, like, par with me to sell your home. I don't know, something like that, right? So those are the things that they're looking at, luxury life. Again, those are the type of criteria that they have that you want to take a look at. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do a live demo. We are. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you log in. It'll say like, do you agree to the terms? And there's no sound. You just say like, ask me later, and you'll get to this place, right? So if I go here, I pick the street, and then I pick the town, and you need to choose one or the other, okay? And I did the confirm owner, okay, homeowner. Again, here's the section where you can choose. I did all records, and then I'm going to do search. And then again, it comes up with a bunch of, homes in that street. And I am going to go down, and I chose one, it was chosen, but you can choose whichever one. And I'm going to do a radius search. And I'm going to do, let's say, zero point 0.5 miles, and then continue. Okay. So this is where you'll get all the information. Sometimes you may not see it here, but when you download it, you do see it. And you go down here, and then you just go into the CSV file, and you can download. Okay, but you have to choose either all pages or current pages. Okay, and right here off to the side is your advanced option. And I already chose this information like when it was built or the length of, but again, you can see the tremendous amount of things that, like maybe for someone who builds, or like, they're looking at certain things like like building square foot indicator. I don't know. I don't do that, but you might, and there's like, antique collectors, things maybe that you vibe with and you're comfortable, that maybe if they like the same stuff you like, that you can look at it. Someone who's into fitness, And again, it's not 100% accuracy, but you can do foreclosure. So let's see if I didn't do that one. And don't use these double arrows, just use one because then everything disappears or everything comes over. So just choose one. And you'll see that this was what was added. Okay. And if you are doing the labels, do add like the current resident because then it doesn't get returned and it'll just stay there. Okay. And then you just submit. So after you've done that and you download, it does get downloaded and you'll see it gets downloaded as a ROB CSV format. Okay. And what I did was I uploaded into my Google Sheet because my Mac, I didn't buy Excel on there. So this is the information it has. And you'll see, I just did one page. I didn't do the foreclosure. I didn't do all of that stuff, but you'll see that they have all that information. And, just also be careful if they're not on the do not call list, don't call them. Okay. But you can send out mailings, you can, invite them to things. There's a lot of things that you can do. You can use the list to, do postcards when you choose sometimes a provider that will make postcards for you. You can actually upload and say, these are the people that I want to target. Okay. Just because I used Express Docs, there are way in Express Docs you can do street searches, but they're not limiting it by this type of criteria. Again, if my image has golf on there, then I might choose like a filtering system. I might do all pages and then filter it by golf and then send those things out to those people. It might hit, you know. So so that's how you get the list and that's really how you can start prospecting and marketing to a farm. Okay. We have 5 minutes. Does anybody have any questions? I think sometimes we forget because we do have a lot of tools to use them. And we sometimes also have to think about how we're going to market and just put thought into what your marketing plan is going to be. Okay. And we have the tools and sometimes we don't use them. So we have these trainings. So, and you can definitely reach out to me. I've used Cold Realty for my business and I've taught Cold Realty, but that's really it. Like you get the list and a filtering system with all of these data that you can use for marketing.
Thank you so much. Mary, there was a question. It
Mhm.
says, is this the same as RSP? What's the cost for direct mail?
I'm not sure what RSP is. So, Gail,
Yes.
can you?
Gail, are you at a place where you can speak?
It sounds like it's a very similar program where it's direct mail. This
Mhm.
is direct mail also, right?
Yes, and it has like phone numbers and email as well.
Right, right. It shows a zone. You could pick the
Yeah.
streets. You can do a half
Mhm.
mile, quarter mile, one
Right.
target street, whatever.
Yeah. Except
What
you're not paying for it, we're paying for it.
what is the cost for the cars? Do you know? Are they various sizes as well?
Oh, like it's not they don't actually you can say go to Express Docs to make a postcard, but it
Okay.
really this system is just really to get the list of who you want to target.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they don't really
RSP,
have.
they create the whole thing, so you're in one program. You
Oh,
you
okay.
you don't leave the program. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, the only difference, scale, what we're trying to say is that you're not paying for the program. So,
Mm-hmm.
what's the cost that you pay for RSP? Like, for at least our agents will be able to utilize the system for free, get the list, and then find, uh, I guess they can work with one of our title companies who will help you create the postcards and mail them for you. And I
Okay.
assume the price would be less since you already have the list and then they just have to design it for you, which they don't charge as well.
Okay.
The-
Yeah, RSP is no cost. It's the cost, of course, for direct mail and all that. Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
but do they have like those filtering systems where you kind of target like the people who have
Yes.
like how long they've lived
Yeah,
there
how
and
long they
then
lived there. Yeah. Yep.
okay. Okay.
Thank
Great.
you.
Sure.
It's nice to have another
Option.
yes.
Yep.
Thanks.
Mhm. All right. So,
Thanks,
And
Mary.
Gail, I have a question. Do they allow you to download the list for free if you are now going to order the cards? Let's say you wanted to use it for a different purpose, or is it you can only generate the list if you were going to order the postcards? Because that would make a difference too. I mean, they
Right.
would have to make money somehow, right? They're not going to generate free information.
You know what? That's a good question.
that's a really good
I'll
question.
have to try it.
Okay, yeah, I would love to know more because if it is free, I would love to work with them and use it as a second option. But I would just think that if it's a free system, that means you wouldn't be able to download the list unless you paid for the postcards.
I
But
know
let
Gary
me know.
uses it too. Is Gary on?
Gary was on. Oh yeah, he's
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Well, with RSP to be I guess a member or whatever it is, they charge you like $100 a month for them to collect the addresses. And if there's only like a handful of addresses that's sold in like 3 months, you're paying $100 a month for them to do that. So I stopped it. I'm like, plus then you got to pay another, let's say $300 or more because you can only when you're dealing with RSP, you have to have like five. I don't know if it's like 350 minimum people to send it to. The cards
Right.
are nice and it's informational, but it's the other stuff that they get you that's very it's costly, especially like with me. If I'm farming my complex and there's only five, let's say five sold in 3 months, they're charging me like for 5 months, they're charging me 500 just to collect, five or six addresses.
Now, is that new, Gary? I've never been billed that 100. I mean, I haven't used them in a hard minute, but I've never been billed that 100. Is that new?
Well, if you pick like a farming area, you have to have a
Right.
minimum like
Oh, okay. All right.
right.
You're
If you're I
picking the
mean if
farming area. Mine's random, so I've never been charged that.
Okay, yeah. So you're doing it on your own, and that's what I would do. Like if you're doing like your area, you can pick whatever you want and then do it whenever you want. But like I had to pick like two areas to be I guess a to lock in your area. Like if
Right.
like if I want yeah, like if you wanted Lake Hiawatha and nobody else has that, then you designate that section just for you with
Hmm.
RSP. But if you're
Okay.
doing your own thing, if you're doing your own and you're collecting your own addresses and data, then you can have RSP probably just do the card whenever you want to do it. Is that what
Right,
you're
right.
doing?
Yeah, I never locked in to a farming area.
Okay, you know
I
what?
pulled
Then
at random.
So
yeah, no,
maybe you
then
guys
that's
can talk.
that's different than what I had.
Okay.
Well, thank you both for sharing, and we'll definitely take that offline and talk more about it, and we'll figure it out. Gary, thank you so much, and Gail as well. I mean, it's always good to have a second option, but as you guys know, if you go through our hub, Cole Realty, there's no charge. You can use it for any type of method that you want to
Perfect.
use it for, and it's available to all of you.
We
So please
Yeah,
appreciate it.
take
We
advantage.
appreciate everything. Thank you.
Yes, thank
Thank you.
you.
And then if you came in late, just remember next Tuesday I will be hosting the mastermind. I'm going to go over the buyer agency agreement just to give you some more tips and how to some scripts, especially with the new leads. How do you get them to sign in the event you have an issue? If you were not on the mastermind last week, I did let you all know that there was a broker that was charged $25,000 fine for one of their agents not having the buyer agency agreement on their dot loop. So please make sure it's nice to have a refresher just to know what's happening, what's changing, what they're looking for, so that we all stay in compliant. Okay?
That's great. Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone. Have a great day.
Have a great day.